First it was 2 joints, now it's Red Horse, extra strong, being towed away for obstructing the sidewalk. I just wonder how it got here. Did it drive here on that license plate? Or was it picked up and carried on a tow truck? Who knows, but it's now being towed away because there's no driver. And it looks like the tire on the front is actually flat. There's a lot of water leaking out of the vehicle also. No wing mirrors either. Obviously this is set up for racing, so I'm not so naive to not understand what's going on. But this isn't a racetrack, it's a sidewalk. That's a problem. Good morning everyone, MMDA back on the road. Right now they're on CP Garcia, clearing the alternative route for the upcoming SONA. And I know you're going to ask, are there actually signs? Yes, many signs all along this road that say no parking. The tow bar is already hooked up to this Jeepney, but the driver keeps trying to remove it. Unfortunately, if you don't arrive in time and show a license, it really gets towed away. Both of these Jeepney drivers said they don't have a garage and that they just park it on the road every day. And that's the problem. They are required by their franchise to have parking. That van was already ticketed because the driver was there immediately with his license, so he can drive away with just a ticket. But obviously this Jeepney is going to be towed away. You'll see one of the Jeepneys is already gone on the back of the tow truck. This shot isn't relevant to the video. I just think it looks really nice in there, especially with the light shining through as a beam. And further along they already picked up the SUV going on its way to Tumana, Marikina City. And they already issued a ticket to this sedan for illegal parking, as well as the tricycles in front. Thankfully they all had a driver with a license, so they can drive away with just a ticket.
Ano to? Unauthorized. So kasi wala siyang ICC mark. So hindi natin alam kung kaya kang protektahan ito dahil sa wala nga, hindi dumaan sa pagsusuri. Mura lang to. Alam namin, nabibili mo online, di ba? Diba? Pero dahil may malasakit ako sa misis mo. At baka mag-usip sa katotohanan. Ayaw ko maumpog.
Pamilya kami.
Wala, masaya lang po.
Barin mo yan.
Sarado yun, hindi ba ano yung helmet na yan?
Masaya ka.
Wala.
Ba't kayo naiiyak eh?
Binigyan ako ni Sir.
Masaya ka, natikita kayo.
Sayang wala yung ID.
Ito po sir. Yun o. Oo, di ba? Hindi ko nakikita ko. So pag mga ganun,
Thank you po, Sir.
Possible, sir. Ito yun, no?
ano ma'am?
Thank you
Oh, hindi
po.
dumama,
Sir.
sir.
Salamat po.
Wala rin, sir.
Thank you, Sir.
And this is kind of a strange situation. You see this pickup truck is obstructing the sidewalk on Katapunan Avenue. Very, very, very common. But look behind. There's a big parking area and driveway. It's completely empty. So you would wonder, why did you leave it obstructing the sidewalk? So far no drivers come out to move this, so it looks like it's going to be towed away. And here's something I see every day: cyclists with their helmet just on front of their bicycle instead of on top of their head, so that when they get stopped by an LGU enforcer, they can say, I have a helmet. I am very surprised the driver of this one didn't come out. There's actually a pedestrian crossing here, but once you reach the sidewalk on the other side, it became a parking area for Jeepneys, actually on both sides. So the Jeepneys do have a permit that allows a certain number of them to be here in very specific areas. The problem is there's a lot more here than what's allowed, and they've extended into pretty much every inch of space that they can find. According to one of the guys here, some of these units aren't actually operating anymore, and they just park them here. The problem with that is it eats up space, and they're only allowed a certain number of units here in the first place. So you'll see the tow trucks are already hooking up to some of the unattended Jeepneys. Actually, most of these right now are unattended. The smoke coming off these Jeeps is incredible. Every year LTO gives them a registration and says it's allowed, so it's not much you can do there. The Jeeps have now been removed, but look under here, lots and lots of bottles of alcohol. And one of the rules of the permit is that no alcohol is allowed. They just flagged down this motorcycle rider for counterflowing in the bicycle lane, and both the driver and passenger don't have a crash helmet. Looks like the driver does have a license though. And you'll see the towing crew just took that bike over to their truck. It's being impounded because according to the enforcer it doesn't have a valid registration. They said last registered 2019. And over here you'll see this red car parked on the sidewalk. Obviously it's designed for pedestrians, not for parking. So the tow truck already came in behind and they're going to pick this up. In fact, here's the perfect example. This lady having to go in the road, in the bike lane, because of the parked vehicle. And this one parked on the sidewalk is also going up on the tow truck. I think the driver came out, but they considered it as too late, because once the towing process began, they don't stop anymore. They're just apprehending this Jeepney driver now, because believe it or not, he just counterflowed on this road. See, the flow of traffic is all going in one direction. He was going the opposite direction. According to the enforcer writing out the ticket, when she asked the driver why he counterflowed, he told her because of traffic. The enforcers chased this motorcycle because the driver and passenger weren't wearing helmets, and the license plate has some kind of substance added to the top of it, some kind of reflective surface, so you can't really read it. I just wonder how someone can spend so much on a motorcycle but they don't have a driver's license or crash helmet. On the other side of the road, the team are looking at all those Jeepneys parked in the bicycle lane, on the sidewalk. So far no drivers come out for this taxi, so it might end up being towed away. One of the drivers came out for the Jeepney parked in the bicycle lane, but I don't think anyone came out for the other two Jeepneys yet. I just heard this driver trying to start his Jeepney. Sounds like the battery can't turn over the engine, so the problem with that is if it's a stalled vehicle it gets towed, so hopefully he can just start the engine. Okay, good, there you go.